Today, an organization running one teacher schools and transforming rural India for just $1 a day per village. Welcome to Chai with Manjula, a show about giving. And yes, you heard it right. Inspired by Swami Vivekananda's philosophy that if a child cannot go to school, the school must go to the child. This organization is running one teacher schools in 24,000 remote and tribal villages of India with just $1 a day per village. And their goal is to eradicate illiteracy from tribal India by the year 2011, which would mean 100,000 such schools altogether. The organization is Ekal Vidyalaya Foundation, and having chai with me are two leaders of the organization here in the Bay Area. We have Sucheta Kapuria, whose name has become synonymous with Ekal. She is a serial entrepreneur with a corporate law background, currently president and CEO of her fourth company, S&G Enterprises, here in Santa Clara, California. It's a software company. She is involved in various charitable organizations, is a charter member of TAI, a founding president of the Ekal Vidyalaya Foundation of USA, and currently sits on its national board. She is also president of the Indo-American Chamber of Commerce here and has lived in the Bay Area since 1978. And then we have another very active member of the organization, Bipin Shah. Bipin is currently the CEO and chairman of Covare Software based in Milpitas, California, and has been in the Bay Area for the last 36 years. He's an electrical engineer by profession with many years of chip industry experience. He has been a vice president of operations at Altera Corporation and president of Altera Japan. Also a TAI charter member, he currently lives in Atherton with his wife Rekha, and they have 3 grown children.
Thank you.
Sucheta and Bipin, it's so nice to have you here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Same here.
And we want to hear it all from you today. People are totally blown away when they hear about one teacher schools, 24,000 villages, and with $1 a day. How do you do it?
Well, it's a very popular question. A lot of times people say, how can you do it? And the simple answer is that this is a volunteer-based organization. Mm-hmm. And it has to come from heart within. It's a passion that brings our volunteers. We have a very dedicated army of 5,000 volunteers.
Wow.
And they go out from door to door, from village to village, and promote this literacy movement.
I see.
Yeah, so we go, they go through intensive training also. So there are some costs involved with that, but mainly, these are volunteers, so they go through the training, all the curriculum training. We have divided them into various, branches and, one class above the other class in several classes and sections, of these volunteers, so that, one comes under 100, then there are under 50, then 30, then 25, then 10, and that is how, they are managed. And then the teacher is more of a volunteer. She is recruited from the same village, same tribe, so he knows the roots and the heritage and the culture, and he knows all the villagers and the children. And the teacher is paid very minimal honorarium. We call it mandhan.
Okay.
So the salary, it's not a really salary. It's just an honorarium of 300 to 500 rupees a month.
Oh.
And that is how we can do it on a meager $1 a day.
I see.
But they go out and they sit under the shade of a tree or in the hut provided by a villager. So there is no formal structure.
Okay.
So there are no costs involved. There's no formal school. Mm-hmm. There are no formal books or slates or chalk or paper pen. Mm-hmm. They sometimes in some villages they can do that if the teacher takes it along with him or her, but otherwise they write on literally the dirt with a twig. And they count with the pebbles in most of the cases, because it's so much backward area, right in the remote jungles. There is no electricity, no roads. You have to hike or bike. You have to like walk 6 to 8 kilometers to reach those villages.
I see.
Nobody knows that these kind of villages exist. So it's the passion of the volunteers that we want to reach out to those forgotten children of India for whom nobody does anything. The government doesn't reach there, any political, religious organization, nobody goes there. And that is why we want to reach out to them.
Okay, and how long ago did Ekal movement start?
So let me say this. It was started in the 80s by Dr. Raj Popli, who was a professor at one of the universities in the U.S. And he returned to India, he and his wife, who was also in the field of education. And they decided to start this in the remote areas of area that's now called Jharkhand. And they developed the concept of having one teacher schools, Ekal Vidyalaya. We haven't explained for our non-Hindi speaking audience that Ekal is one and Vidyalaya is school. So one teacher school. And so he is the one who developed the curriculum, started the training program, and started spreading this message with the help of other NGOs. And by the time Ekal Foundation was formed in year 2000, there were about 1,000 such schools. And it has been scaled up considerably since then.
So during last 7 years, you have added about 20,000 more.
23,000.
Right.
And the goal is to reach 100,000 such villages by 2011.
Okay. So, anyways, how does it work? Do you said the teachers are trained. Is there a formal training for the teachers? You said there is a curriculum also.
Yeah,
so it's the same throughout these 24,000 villages, or you localize it? And
so let me explain the overall structure. Okay. So we have Ekal Vidyalaya Foundation of India, which is based in New Delhi, which has its own board and so on. And lots of volunteers, again, like Sucheta said. And we also have Ekal Vidyalaya Foundation of US. And now there are foundations in UK and other areas of the world where there is a lot of, Indus-based population. Okay. So the board has a curriculum committee. That committee uses about 20 volunteer organizations in India to give them the curriculum, to train their people, and then they in turn have field volunteers who go train the teachers. And the focus is on recruiting local teachers that are either from the same village or neighboring villages, again, so that they can hike or bike, like Sucheta said. And then that's how the education occurs. And it's called informal education, meaning the classes are held like under a tree or in
and I think it's up to third grade.
It is up to third grade.
And then after that, they move on to the neighborhood
So
school,
the idea is
village.
after third grade, again, Sujata has been to some of those schools, but the idea is that they can walk to the next level of school. Right?
And coming back to your question is it the same curriculum all over India? Yes, it's same curriculum, but it's in the different language. So whatever language is in that region, they speak in their own language, but it's mainly 3 R's, reading, writing, and arithmetic, so that they become aware of their rights, they know what it is, they know how to read and write, and how to count and multiply. So, they can live by and do their things more intelligently, and they're more informed, And then we also have value system that we teach them their sanskar. That they should respect their elders, their parents, all kind of nice things, that we instill in them, the true Indian values. And then there is also health education.
Yes, that's what I wanted to know. How do you do it? Transforming the villages. How is Ekal different from other education movements in India?
So this is like adopting the whole village. So we are also doing this health, means this Arogya Yojana. So we have one Arogya Sevika and one Arogya Sevak, that one person who goes from village to village.
I see.
And takes care of their basic hygiene. And, if they have some, ordinary level of diseases or anything that they can take care of, diarrhea, dysentery, malaria, flu and all that. But when it comes to more, then, they pitch in, they take the patient to the doctor, they arrange for the transportation, or they take the nurse or doctor, bring them to the village to do that. And also they teach them some arts and craft to uplift the village economy.
Okay.
Some kind of, rural, so that is how, like transforming the village, all the village elders are involved. Before
you can almost call this economic empowerment.
Right.
Economic empowerment.
Right.
So not only you are educating the children, but through their education, even the parents are benefiting.
Okay.
And if there are issues of alcoholism or things like that in the family, gradually those problems are eradicated from the village also.
Okay.
So there is
The social
education of
reform
the
taking
kids,
place.
hygiene education, health education, and also there are things like horticulture, vermiculture type of programs being introduced in the villages also.
Okay. That's amazing.
Right.
Amazing.
Yeah, so, and that is why this Ekal program has been so successful, that it's not that you come from outside and impose a school on them. The government has been trying to do that, and they have totally failed. Government schools are lying vacant. Nobody goes there. The teacher gets the salary, but who knows where teacher is sitting 500 miles away and just cashing on that, and the students don't go there.
Okay.
In the case of Ekal, we evaluate the village. It takes us 6 months to work with the villagers. We work with the village chiefs, and together with their agreement, so we get their full cooperation, and that's how the school gets started.
I see.
So it's not just that the teacher, the students are going and sitting there, because then they will say, hey, why should we send our kids to school? They are helping us fetch the water, they are helping us in the field, the girls are cooking food, they are taking care of the children.
So it's their own people.
What is the point, right? But when they see the values and the benefits of, what Ekal is doing to their village, what they hear the success stories from different villages, that, in the neighboring village, this Ekal teacher, these wonderful things, the whole village is so happy. And now, like Bipin said, that alcoholism, illicit liquor, biggest problem there. They brew illicit liquor, they drink it, they fight, they yell, they shout, and the atmosphere is so much, there is noisy, and there is no peace, and they are so sad about all this whole situation. So the teacher slowly, tells them, and the kids, they say, okay, you have to go and touch the feet of your parents. Now parents think, today the kids are coming back from school and they are going to touch our feet, and here we are lying, unconscious, for totally drunk.
Okay.
That's not nice.
So
that day they don't drink. And slowly, then they, reform, and the whole village is so happy. And then they start working also, because when they are drunk, they cannot work, and they are parasites, and they are dependent on others in the village. And they borrow money, and the loan is never paid off, the principal never goes out, the interest keeps on. But now that they know how to count, how to calculate, how much is the value of their total crop that they are growing, so nobody can come and cheat them, earlier, that
so they're more aware
loan
now
sharks.
of their
So they're more
rights
aware
and
of
their
their rights and everything.
responsibilities.
And this is all with the cooperation of the teacher and villagers and the parents. So everybody is working as a team, and that's what they really like it. Like in the instance of one village, what his teacher did, that he asked them to pitch in their money and buy 3 buffaloes. They bought the buffaloes, and then they saw, how much money they can make, Then they bought another 10, and now they have 30 buffaloes. So pretty much every household owns a buffalo, and everybody is happy as making money. So this is not what the government school or anybody else can do it.
Excuse me, Sucheta, I have to hurry you along here in the interest of time. But I have to ask you something here. A while back, there was a perception out there that Ekal has some religious affiliations. What do you say to that?
So let me take that question.
Sure.
As I said, when Ekal was started by professor from here. When Ekal Foundation was formed, the foundations both in the U.S. and in India are non-religious, non-political, and they don't discriminate against any religious groups. In fact, Ekal student population, if you look at the total population of students in India, there is about 7 to 8% of the students are minority, and that includes both, majority, of course, are Hindus in India, but includes Christians, Muslims, etc. So from that standpoint, there is no religious bias that Ekal has as a foundation. There may be some history of the volunteer organizations that were, say Hindu in nature, but just because a Hindu doesn't also mean it's bad.
But
if I can editorialize here a little bit, if you look at India's history, full of Christian missionaries doing a lot of good work in education.
Right.
Now, they did have religious motives, but the work they did was very, very good in terms of education.
Right.
So Ekal's, the foundation's focus is education and not anything else.
No religion being imposed.
No.
In fact, in some villages, there are a lot of students are Muslim, or the teachers are Muslim. In South, in Kerala, a lot of villages are Christian villages, but Ekal is teaching them. The teachers are Christian, the students are Christian, the teachers are Muslim, the students are Muslim. So we don't discriminate. It's education for everybody.
That's good to know. Now, I would like to learn more about the local chapter and the activities, but before that, I know you have brought us a video clip that we would like to show our viewers, and then we'll come back and talk about the activities over here.
Sure. Thank you.
This is the story of a concept that changed the future of countless underprivileged children, that transformed the lifestyle of thousands of villagers, that empowered rural India, a concept that created a sense of belonging for the forgotten children of India. This is the story of the temples of education, Ekal Vidyalayas. As Swami Vivekananda said, if the children do not come to the school has to go to the children. A village that achieved 100% literacy for children in just 3 years. A tribal group that understood the efficacy of education. A community that realized the need for self-reliance. The concept of Ekal Vidyalayas, or single teacher schools, started spreading its roots in modern India since 1988. But its origins could be traced to the ancient Indian systems of education, the Gurukul system. Like our time-tested tradition, the Ekal Vidyalaya movement also aims at achieving a holistic empowerment for the community, perched on the wings of basic education. The core concept involves a single teacher running a school in the remotest corners of India and, through the school, making the villagers conscious of their rights and duties. Meet the children of Chatamdag village. Look at their radiant faces, glowing in the warmth of education. Barely 3 years back, they spent all of their time grazing cattle, helping in household or agricultural chores, or just loitering around. Today, thanks to the efforts of the Ekal Vidyalaya movement, not a single child in the village is illiterate. In 3 years, Chatamdag has achieved 100% literacy. The organization aims to increase this number threefold in 3 years. 30,000 Ekal Vidyalayas till 2007.
That was really interesting. You can see that it's not just the kids, the whole village is engaged in this process.
That's right.
And I found it very interesting that they have come up with such creative ideas where the children are using beans to form the alphabet, and they are using wooden sticks for counting. So thank you very much for sharing that video with us. And now, Sucheta, you tell us, you were the founder of Ekal USA. When did it happen here in the U.S.? How many chapters are there, their activities and all?
Yeah, we started talking about it since 1999.
I see.
And finally, by the time everything was organized, we got the 501c status and the incorporation, it was close to December 2000.
Okay.
So literally we started from 2001 onwards. We have now cross-country 16 chapters from Florida to California. And they're very, very active chapters.
Yeah, I know that over here. There's so much talk about it.
Yes, we have a national meeting once a year, which we do by rotation. Last year it was in Atlanta. Now it is going to be in Houston. And before that it was in Chicago and in California. So, everywhere we do that. We have national meetings. We have 7 members on the national board, and I'm one of them. The president is a physician from Florida.
Okay.
So now we have international organization also. The Ekal has reached not only UK, Germany, Australia, Singapore, Hong Kong, and Malaysia.
I see.
So the chapters from UK and Germany are supporting Nepal also. So we have like 800-900
Okay, so it
schools
goes beyond.
in Nepal. Yeah, so we are going beyond, but the thing is that we want to finish up in India first. We want to get there, and then we move out to other parts of the world.
So let me talk about the local chapter here.
Right.
So we Northern California is considered a chapter, and Southern California is another one. So locally we work on the basis of an advisory board, and we have chairs and co-chairs of the advisory board. So Sucheta and I have been part of that ever since 2000. And we typically have 10 board members, and there's also a regional vice president, Western region or
Northern California.
Northern
region.
California vice president that
Reena Rao.
Reena Rao is our current VP.
Right.
And we have added to our activities as we go every year. So our first activity this year is a dinner on April 18th
April 18th.
in
okay.
Fremont. Then we have programs like musical events where
Right.
we invite artists from India.
I remember
some
last
of the
year.
very famous ones.
Yeah, for a few months you had events one after the other.
That-
you had
that is
multimedia
true.
production,
Yes.
Ekal Dandiya and Marathon.
So we
Mr. Prakash Chandra of ZTV was here
so
to talk
all
about
of-
Ekal.
all similar things are going to happen
Very
this year.
good.
So Dandiya was added last year,
Right.
and we're hoping there will be a bigger success this year because we'll work on it. So there's and locally, this chapter has contributed to over 1,500 schools.
Wonderful.
Every year we do somewhere around 200 to 400, depending on the year.
I see.
I'd say maybe like 250 to 400. And if you take 40 students average per school, that means the Bay Area donors have contributed to the education of at least 60,000 students.
60 to
So
70,000
typically there are 30
students.
to 40 children in a school,
Yes.
in a
That's right.
village.
That's
Okay, and
right.
there's one school per village, and that takes care of
Correct.
Yes,
everything.
yeah.
Donors typically get the report for their own school, by the way, every
Okay.
year. That is, it's very, very, they have very good internet-based tools that they're using to do a lot of the
Yeah,
work.
because it's very transparent. If somebody donates one school, $365, they get all the information about their school
Right.
as to which region, which state, which area, where it is, which district, what is the nearest tehsil, what is the nearest railway station, what is the population of that village, the name of the teacher, how much female, how much male,
Okay, so
every
there's
statistics of the
visibility
village so
there.
that you can go and visit your school.
So people either pay $365 and sponsor a school, or
Yes.
they can pay
Any amount,
amount.
and it is pooled in to open the
So
one
the
school.
local site, by the way, is ekalbayarea.org.
Okay, ekalbayarea.org.
Yeah, and they can also go to Ekal Global. Ekal.org is our
Global
original
website,
Global website.
Yeah.
Well,
And also, like when we do the activities, from USA, all we can do is raise funds. So we like Vipin said, we have different activities, and this year we are also planning to have Ekal Golf. So we keep on coming with innovative ideas to raise funds. And if anybody wants to go and visit a school, they can go and visit over there also.
Okay.
And our, like as you were asked me how we do it at $1 a day, because volunteer-based organization, and also that is the reason that our administrative cost is overhead is very, very low. In India, it's less than 7%, and in USA, it is less than 2%.
Okay.
So that shows, that most of the money or all of the money is going towards the school.
Okay, great. Sucheta and Vipin, thank you so much for coming by, and please, do enjoy your chai.
Yes.
It's really good though.
Thank you for having us. And
I commend you for your efforts. Ekal certainly is a very powerful education movement in India and having a phenomenal impact over there. And I wish you all the best.
Thank you.
Thank you for supporting
Two
us and
things.
going to your viewers.
My
for
pleasure.
it.
Two things to remember. It's very scalable.
Okay.
It's very low cost.
All right, scalable and low cost. And with that, we come to the end of our program. In case you joined us late, today we met with two leaders of the Ekal Vidyalaya Foundation. The organization has launched the largest education movement in India. With a unique model of one-teacher schools, they have literally transformed the lifestyle of thousands of remote and tribal villages, empowering rural India. And all this with just $1 a day per village. To learn more about the organization, you may look them up at ekal.org. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll be back again with another inspiring story about giving and people making a difference. For Chai with Manjula, I'm Manjula Gupta. See you next time.